Meet Tumi Mkhuma, a 22-year-old from Katlehong. While walking home sometime last year, she was forced to the ground and raped by a man from her neighborhood. Tumi's crime, being a lesbian.
Now that's from a television report called Hate Crime by E-News' Paul Lakaji, South Africa's Television Journalist of the Year. He joins us on the programme this week. We'll also find out why marketers don't understand the habits of rich people. Welcome to Mags on Media. Let's start the show in-house this week, and joining us with deep congratulations is E-News reporter Paul Lakaji, winner of the Vodacom Television Journalist of the Year accolade. It really is a huge honour in this industry, and it's for a gritty, hard-hitting piece of work where the images linger and serious questions about the subject are raised. And Paul, welcome, and thank you very much for joining us. Let's start with the premise. What informed the story? How did you find it?
All right, Jeremy, let me start from day one. It was around June 2010. You would imagine at the time, everyone was excited about the World Cup. There was a buzz in South Africa. A friend of mine, Christian Parkinson, told me about a football team comprising mainly lesbian players. And he gave me a bit of background about it. Then he told me what they went through, and I thought to myself that there might be the kind of story that E-News might be interested in. And of course, I had to go to my assigning editors to tell them about it and to sell the story. And they thought it's the kind of idea. Of course, we didn't know that the story was going to go all the way to win an award, but they thought it's the kind of idea that needs to go on air.
You used the phrase "what they went through." What sort of difficulties was this team facing?
Well, you can imagine, obviously, hate crime is a huge problem in South Africa. And these ladies told me that they were kicked out of football teams, ladies' football teams. So they had to form their own football team, to sort of run away from their reality. They were also kicked out of home. They were kicked out of their communities. So they needed to find a place where they would obviously group themselves, talk about their problems, and also just sort of try to counsel each other, obviously going through all these problems that they were going through. So they had to find some sort of a home, a place that they can actually call home.
How difficult was it to get them to talk to you?
Well, obviously, I needed to make sure that they understand, that I understand what they're going through. Obviously, I needed to do my own research. I needed to understand issues relating to homophobia. So for me, it was a matter of making them understand that I know what they're going through. I understand, at least. Obviously, I've never gone through it, but I understand what they're going through. And in that way, it's in their best interest to talk about it, because this is the sort of problem that South Africa needs to hear about. It's the kind of problem that, viewers will obviously have to hear about from the horse's mouth, so to speak.
But it's a hidden problem in this country.
It is a hidden problem. People don't know about it, and that's one of the things. That's one of the reasons I decided to do this story. I thought to myself, World Cup 2010, everyone is excited. Whenever you talk about football, everyone listens. So let's seize the moment. Let's use this as an opportunity to talk about something that's obviously not related to football, but obviously using football, using that event as a hook to the story, because obviously this is a football team comprising lesbians, obviously with hidden problems. So let's talk about these problems.
What sort of emotion in the piece were you trying to get across?
I think most importantly, I wanted the viewer to understand, to look at it from the perspective of a lesbian. Look at it from the perspective of the person who is going through that problem. So I wanted the viewer to understand. In that way, I thought perhaps in that way, there can be a shift in terms of thinking, because I think that's what it is. Education is not just about going to school, but it's also about understanding from the person who is affected.
Do you think it's more difficult for a male journalist to tell the story?
It can be difficult, but at the same time, I think if you do your research, if you do your homework, if you understand the issues, then it shouldn't be too much of a problem. You have to spend time with the people that you are going to interview, which is exactly what I did. I didn't get there and just decide to do interviews. I needed to listen to what they had to say first. I needed to understand what they were going through. And then from there, I started asking the questions.
And finally, the response to the piece. And do you think you made a difference at all? Has anything changed in their lives as a result of this?
Well, I would hope. I think most importantly for me, it's not, obviously one story doesn't bring about change. It's a process, but I do hope that, you know, the debate has started. I hope that people will start talking about these issues, most importantly.
Thank you very much for joining us, and well done. It's a great accolade and a great piece of television journalism. Paula Kaji with us here on Mags on Media. Your views on the winning work on our Facebook page on this address. Later in the programme, we're going to talk about this piece of advertising and why it hits all the right green buttons.